So, today we're going to be reading Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten. Chapter 1. 1:22 p.m. is giving us a time this time. My name is Jake. I couldn't tell you my last name or where I'm from. That would just help the Yerks. They'd love to find me and my friends. They'd love to know who we are and even what we are. Knowing my last name is important for you. What you need to know is that everything I tell you is true. It's real. It's actually happening. Right now. The Yerks are among us. The Yerks are us. They're a parasitic species. They live inside the bodies of other beings. They take over your mind and body. Controllers. That's what they call a creature that's ruled by a Yerk, a controller. Something that looks human, acts human, sounds human, but whose mind is Yerk. They are everywhere. They can be anyone. Think of the one person in the whole world you trust most. Think of that one special person and realize, believe, accept the fact they might not be the person you think they are. Deal with the reality behind those friendly, loving eyes lives a gray slug. Yes, you know the meme. That's what Yerk looks like in its natural state, just a gray slug. They enter your head, squeezing for the ear canal and flatten themselves out to envelop your brain. You know all those nooks and crannies in your brain? You've probably seen pictures in school. Well, the Yerk forms itself in those nooks and crannies and ties into your mind. You wake up and want to scream, but you can't. You can't scream. You can't move your eyes or raise your finger or make yourself walk. The Yerk controls you. You're still alive. You can see what's happening. Your eyes move and focus, but you're not moving them. You can hear your own mouth speaking using your voice. You can feel when the Yerk opens up your memories and looks through them. You can hear them laughing at you as they prise open your every secret. I know. I've been there. For a few days I was a controller. The Yerks are here, alright. Their mothership is parked in high orbit right now, hidden from human radar, but it's there. And their evil leader, Visitor 3, is there too. We are being invaded. We are being enslaved. We are losing our own planet and we don't even know it. My friends and I fight the Yerks, but we're just 5 kids. Well, 5 kids on Andalites. Yes, we have some amazing powers, we're still desperately weak and outnumbered compared to the force of the Yerk invasion. We're the only humans resisting the Yerks. We may be the only force that Earth has. We have a lot on our shoulders, which is why I really did not see why I had to have more suffering piled on. Wasn't I under enough stress? Life wasn't bad enough? We had to have square dancing? Square dancing! The horror! The CD player is blasting out screaming cat fiddle music, which in my opinion is probably the worst music ever created. The lights in the classroom seem blazingly bright compared to dark clouds outside. The teachers sing off to the side, wherein a smug, sassy-look teachers sometimes get when they know they're grinding the students' last nerves. Now, promenade left, bow to your partner, dootsie-doo, the stereo drill instructor yelled. I promenade, which consists of walking like a big honking goober around a circle. Then I bowed, a strange jerky sword movement, and then my least favorite part, I did a dootsie-doo, or the shrieking yammering voice on the CD said, dootsie-doo! You call that a dootsie-doo? Rachel sneers. I high-step backwards around her. Don't mess with me, Rachel, I warned. Smile, Jake, big smile, she said. We're happy while dancing, happy. She was enjoying torturing me. Rachel's my cousin, she's an Animorph too. Now swing your partner back to the left and promenade. Promenade this, I muttered. I grabbed Rachel and swung her. I considered swinging her into the nearest wall, but although she may look like a dippy clueless type, she's a lot closer to being Xena Warrior Princess. In other words, I was just a little scared of her. I'd seen her in a lot of fights. You don't really want to make her too mad. You really don't. Excellent swing, Rachel mocked me. Now you're getting into it. I can just picture you in a string tie, cowboy boots, maybe a bright red checkered western shirt. Don't push it, Rachel, I warned again. And then the worst thing possible happened. When I was promenading, I again heard Rachel yell, Hey Cassie, come by to watch? My heart sank. Cassie's another member of our team. She's also someone I really kind of like, if you know what I mean. And I didn't want her watching me as I stomped clumsily around the circle. The sight of me, big old Jake, lumping around the time to the fiddle music was guaranteed to destroy any affection she had for me. I mean, I was making myself sick. I could just imagine how I looked at Cassie. I met her gaze. She was standing at the doorway of the classroom, and she was laughing with her entire body. She was in convulsions. I was so relieved, so I asked her to get a more pitying look, but instead she was cracking up. Tears were running down her cheeks as I dootsie-dooed right in front of her. You find this funny? Me trying to dance? She couldn't talk. She was laughing too hard. She just nodded. Well, what can I do? I started laughing too. There wasn't much else to do. Oh, maybe one other thing. I grabbed her hands and pulled her in a circle. Rachel backed away, letting her take her place in the pattern, and Cassie stopped laughing. No way, she said, alarmed. Let's see you dootsie-doo, I said. I grabbed her and swung her. In a breathless voice, she whispered, I just came by to tell you something. Tobias wants us. Right after school lets out. It's something big. I took a deep breath, suddenly wasn't in the mood to laugh anymore. Tobias wouldn't say it's something big unless it was something big. And something big meant something bad these days. Cassie and I do obey the music and separate, but a few seconds later we rejoin in pattern, bowing to each other. I guess square dancing doesn't seem so bad now, huh? Cassie asked me. Yeah, right. It'd take more than a dangerous sudden death to make this okay. A lot more. I did some more promenading, did some more bowing, did some more ditzy-doing, but my thoughts are already running ahead, wondering what Tobias had seen, and just how much of a mess it would end up being, and then... Flash! I fell down for green trees, a branch. I snatched it with my hand and swung and released, and flew free and caught another branch. I wrapped my tail around the branch and turned to look back. Monkeys were swinging toward me for the high treetops of the jungle. I was giddy, I was in a rush, it was... Flash! Cassie was smiling, looking at me strangely. The music was done, the glass was breaking up. Are you okay? She asked me. Yeah, I said, shaking off the weird vision. Daydreaming? I guess so, I said. I wonder what Tobias wants. Do you have any idea? I was too weird out to really respond. 1 second I've been square dancing, next I was swinging through trees. And both moments have been real. Chapter 2, 3:08 p.m. What do you think, Marco asked me. Personally, I figured Tobias found some really good roadkill and he wants to share. Yes, probably, I said tolerantly. Marco's approach to everything is a joke about, especially when he's worried. After school, we went our separate ways, Cassie at her own, Rachel at hers. We all knew Tobias some serious reason to talk to us. We were afraid it was all trouble of some sort, but I had something extra to worry about. The hallucination or vision or whatever it was had been too real to just forget. Everyone daydreams, but this wasn't a daydream. I was in the jungle. Period. It was just for a few seconds, but it was definitely real. And like I said, priority 1 was figuring out what was bugging Tobias, so Marco and I walked home together because that's what we usually did, and it's important for us to act normal. We never want to draw attention, so we try and be like we always were, like we were before the night had changed our lives. We'd been walking home from the mall at night, so I took a shortcut from an abandoned construction site, a really stupid, irresponsible thing to do, but it turned out I wasn't axe murderers or kidnappers I had to worry about. Before at night we'd all known each other, we weren't really a group, we just happened to hook up at the mall. It was an accident or fate or something, take your pick. Anyway, the 5 of us ended up walking together as we were leaving the mall. In a dark, spooky construction site with half-empty, half-finished buildings, we saw a spaceship land. It was an Andalite fighter, badly damaged. Up in orbit, Andalites had to come out the wrong end of a fight with the Yeerks. The Andalite pilot of the fighter was named Elfengor, Prince Elfengor. He was dying. He was only told us by the Yeerks. And life changed that night. It went from just being daily stuff any normal kid had to deal with to knowing a secret that make you want to sit down and cry. It was Prince Elfengor who gave us the power to morph. It was all he could do to help us, the only weapon he could give us. The power to morph, to become any animal we can touch and acquire. A great and awful power that's given me some serious nightmares. I'd seen things since that night at the construction site, things I wish I'd never seen, and I'd done things I wish I couldn't remember. Hey, Marcus sent up my thoughts. Speaking of bird boy up there, is that anyone we know? I followed his direction he was looking. It was a dark afternoon, the sky was getting darker, filling with rain clouds, the color of steel wool. And there against the clouds is a large bird. Even at distance you could tell it's a bird of prey. Could be, I can't tell. If it's Tobias, he'll spot us. Tobias is in Hawk Morph, permanently. See, there's a nasty little hook buried inside the morphing power. Stay in it for more than 2 hours and you stay in morph forever. He has the soul and mind of a human, but his body is out of a red-tailed hawk. He's coming closer, Marco said. Yeah, I had mixed feelings. Tobias is one of us, a friend, more than a friend. He risked his life for us many times, but I sense he brought bad news. And I really didn't want to hear bad news. I heard a soft voice in my head. Jake, Marco. See, figures him, Marco said. We couldn't answer, he's still too high up to hear us speaking of his excellent hawk hearing. And we can only make thoughts speak when you're a morph, or you have to be an Andalite. You guys need to haul it a little faster, Tobias said. He sounded tense and patient and excited. Not that he really sounded at all, but his thoughts speak carried tension. Morph as soon as you get the chance, okay? I looked at Marco and he sighed. My dad should be at work, we can use my house, we're almost there. We had straight for his house, lived in the same subdivision a couple blocks away from each other. Most of the kids at school lived there, including Rachel. Cassie lives out on the farm a little ways down the road. I'll round up the air spy, so meet up at Axe later. I'll catch up when you're airborne. This is big trouble written all over, I muttered. And big red neon letters, Marco agreed. Reached Marco's house and went in. He checked me sure alone. Dad, you home? Anyone home? Hey Dad, I'm gonna change all the settings on your stereo. He winked at me. If he's home, they'll get him come running. But there's no reply, just a quiet house. We ran up to the carpeted stairs in Marco's room. We ran past framed pictures of Marco and his dad and mother, who everyone thought was dead. Marco opened his bedroom window as wide as it would go. The breeze is cool and damp. It was gonna rain, and I hate rain. Let's get this over with, I said, kicking off my shoes and moving everything on a morphing suit. Marco did the same. I focused on the bird. It was a parakeet falcon. The DNA of that falcon was part of me, and thanks to the Andalite morphing technology, I could trade that DNA for my own. I focused on my mind, and the change began. Feather patterns appeared in my skin as if some invisible person had drawn them there. The not terribly clean the floor of Marco's room came rushing at me as I shrank, drilling down like a fast-burning candle. It was like falling and falling and hitting the ground, or in this case, while hitting a dirty white sock. Aw man, Marco, you can at least not leave your dirty gym socks around. Hey, I've seen your room, Marco said. You still have some of your old baby diapers lying around. He started saying more, that's when his human tongue shriveled up. All I could say was, whatever that meant. The dirty gem stock went from being the size of a sock to being the size of a blanket. The only good thing was that Falcon so much of a sense of smell, and I was grateful for that. My lips became hard as fingernails began to press outward, forming a sharp down-curved beak. It was weird and disturbing before I could actually see the beak grow like some enormous nose. My feet were replaced by talons going up a preamble like a cannon or a cat and cat food. My bones were grinding, squishy noises, and my skull shrank. My arm bones became hollow and our bones disappeared altogether. Then the patterns of feathers my skin became three-dimensional. It was eerie to watch, like my skin was chapping really badly. Like it was peeling up and curl right, and each peel formed a feather. Gray feathers mostly. I glared at Marco my incredible Force 10 Falcon vision. He glared back at the eyes of Osprey. Let's catch some air, I said. I flapped my wings twice and hopped up the windowsill. Last time I was an Osprey, more some paratrooper took a shot at me, Marco said. He sounded a little resentful, like it was my fault. Don't worry, Marco, I'll protect you, I said, knowing how to make him mad. Protect me? Right, come on, big guy, let's fly. See if you can keep up with me first, see if you can protect me. Ha! Oh, my wings wide, kicking out the windowsill and dropping straight for the grass. It was always terrifying. You know you're a bird, but in your mind you're still human. Jumping out of windows scares humans. I was 10, 12 feet off the ground, nothing but the lawn to catch me. For some reason my wings didn't work. But they caught the air. I felt the pressure push me up beneath me. I flapped hard, 1, 2, 3, 4, and shot forward. Forward and up. I flapped and flapped, working hard to get out to into cool air. Flapping is hard. Just because you're a bird doesn't make it easy. Marco and I managed to climb a 50-foot spice and zooming alongside, zipping around like I've been born a bird. Follow me. Follow you where? Asked me too grouchily. He laughed. We're going to the grocery store. We're going to the Safeway. Tobias, are you nuts? What, is there a sale on gourmet bird seed? Funny, Marco, Tobias said, but it's not about bird seed. The grocery store seems to be having a sale on high-ranking controllers. Chapter 3. 3:51 p.m. It's hard to be worried when you're flying, so you feel so powerful floating above the heads of all the little people below you. People are so slow, they walk in little lines along sidewalks, or they're stuck moving in 2 dimensions, left, right, and forward and back. A bird moves in 3 dimensions, a lot more going on when he's flying. There's air temperature, speed of wind gusts, the status of breeze crosswinds, and thermals and humidity. Your wings and tail are constantly adjusting, as seeing your wingtips spreading or narrowing your tail, altering the angle of attack. Fortunately, the Falcon brain handles all that, because let's face it, human, I know basically nothing about flying. All I know is it's the coolest thing in the whole world. Walker and I flew along with Tobias till we spotted 2 other big birds of prey rising toward us, Rachel and Cassie. Break it up, Tobias advised. We're gonna draw every bird watcher 100 miles. Spread out. Something like humans will need to be bunched up to see the same things. He was right. Falcons, Halcyons don't exactly fly in flocks, and with the intense vision we had, we could see whatever we were supposed to from a quarter mile away. I wouldn't get out to because I was struggling with dead air around me. I had narrowest wings. I got brutally fast and a killing dive, much faster than the others, but the business of endlessly riding wisp of breeze, I was weak. Hello from Marco, circle to the right, kept my laser-focused eyes on Tobias. Careful stayed in thought-speak range. Okay, this is it, Tobias said. See a big car lot down there? Track left a block. I was catching my first decent breeze, so I soared upward to search around below. And then I saw it. Left of the car lot. That's a grocery store, right? I asked. I was puzzled. From the air, I started building looks like a big rectangle. It looks like they had some kind of fire. Yep, now look closer. See a plastic sheet on the left side of the store? Look how the breeze blows in, see? It looks like the entire left wall is knocked in or something, Rachel said. She's a bald eagle riding high above me and further west. Exactly, Tobias said. Now see a parking lot on the side? See the marks? I did. There are several long gouges torn on the blacktop, long straight gouges in perfect alignment pointing right toward the busted wall. A couple dozen workmen seem to be on the ground, rushing around to alert a plywood wall to conceal the hole. Suddenly I realized, and I guess Marco did too. Oh man, Marco said. Oh man. You'd never notice from ground level, Tobias said smugly. From a bird's eye view, it's pretty obvious. Something hit the ground. It was moving fast and skidded across the grocery store parking lot, hit the wall, plowed straight inside, and started a fire. Exactly, Tobias said. It must happen late at night, Cassie pointed out, otherwise there'd be cars in the parking lot. You still haven't seen the best thing yet, Tobias said. Take a run, one at a time over the site. Check who's in the charge of the cleanup crew. I flapped hard, turned, flapped harder, shot over a smoke-charred grocery store. Only got a glimpse of the man who was directing the work crew. I couldn't believe what I saw. Chapman, I asked? Chapman, Tobias confirmed. He's been here all day. Chapman's the assistant principal of our school. He's also a hiring controller, a very important part of the York invasion. Why is the assistant principal of our school suddenly in construction, Cassie said, adding, as if I couldn't guess. Whatever it is, it must be important, Rachel said. They're working fast. And look, that guy there with the long coat up on the roof, I call a flash machine gun under his coat. There are 6 or 7 men and women on the roof of the store looking around a kind of steely, paranoid gaze in the face of the president's Secret Service guys. They're nervous, Cassie agreed, scared even. You see from the way they move, or the way they act. Someone screamed something big and everyone down there is afraid. So, what do we do, a fearless leader? Marco asked. He's asking me, they look like I'm in charge. I don't think of myself that way, really. But you know, whatever, makes them feel better thinking I'm the leader, then fine. It's just when people treat like the leader, you start acting like one. Like I said, that means making decisions, even when you're just guessing. Yeah, what's the plan, Rachel asks. Flash. Right in my face, big glittering eyes, only things drifting into darkness. A muzzle open just enough to show long fangs. A face of an extremely big cat, mountain leopard, mountain lion, leopard, and a second would lunge, open his jaws wide, and flash. Whoa, I yelled. What's the matter? Do you see something? Tobias asked. Jake, I asked, what's the plan? Rachel said, sighing annoyed. I was back in the air, flying, in falcon morph, for myself at the grocery store, but I was confused. My brain couldn't focus on reality. It was still in some jungle I'd never seen, staring in the eyes of a beautiful, deadly predator. What was happening to me? Was I going crazy? I guess we take a closer look, huh? Definitely, let's work up a plan. Let's do it, Rachel said with usual enthusiasm. Rachel, why is it when I hear you say let's do it, my blood runs cold, Marco asked. Let's see, because you're a weenie, Rachel speculated. Whatever it is, we're trying to clean up fast. We have no time, I said. Better do this tonight. Oh, Rachel said tonight, as in tonight? Oh, good, Marco said sarcastically. I rushed up unplanned last-minute mission. Those always turn out so well. Marco, I thought, you know half of it, because in addition to all the other ways to go bad, your fearless leader is losing his mind. Of course, I didn't say that. See, when you're a leader, you're not allowed to go crazy. Chapter 4, 4:40 p.m. So this is... I'm just checking. About almost an hour later. I hate this kind of stuff, Marco said. I hate rushing into things. We land in the woods, laying by the way is the hardest part of flying. Taking off is scary, but landing is terrifying. The difference between landing and crashing about 2 inches and 2 miles per hour. We landed more or less gracefully in a pineal floor of the forest. Spice took off, flew up to look for Axe, the rest was demorphed. I seem to remember the last time we rushed into something we managed to script a plan, Cassie said. On the other hand, we did survive. Barely, Marco said. We made a transition from Osprey to human. It's just a grocery store, Rachel said, a shrug of shoulders. Come on, how hard can it be? How should we go in? Marco wondered, looking at me. Looked at Cassie. Any suggestions? We have a couple of morphs available for the job. Like Rachel said, it's a grocery store, a burned out one, but a grocery store just the same. You expect there to be cockroaches, rats, flies. Suddenly came a rush of pounding hooves and a crash of underbrush. Cax raced up to us, graceful and bizarre. He plowed straight toward us, moving as fast as a panic horse. Just as sure he'd run us down, he kicked his hind legs and sailed easily over our heads. He landed on us daintily and turned back to face us. Axis Axilmi Iskroth Ishtil, the younger brother of Prince Elvingor. As far as he knew, he was no Andalite decided destruction of their dome ship. Alex has certain things in common with Earth animals, but he'd run right after he's from a long way away. His body is sort of a strong, pale blue and tan deer. Where the deer would have a neck, he's somewhat a human upper body. Like a chest and shoulders of a boy, he has 2 wheeling arms and a few too many fingers. His head is where you'd expect to find it was missing one very important ingredient, a mouth. Andalites eat by absorbing plants through hollow hooves and communicate through thought speak. He has 3 small slits for a nose and 2 big almond-shaped eyes. He has 2 other eyes. These are mounted on top of his head in short stalks. These 2 eyes can move separately for any direction. It's striking until you get used to it. He may look at you with 2 main eyes and may look at you with both stalk eyes or 1 eye or a combination of the both. The center eye is very strange making eye contact with an Andalite. And last but certainly not least, there's a tail. A scorpion's tail cocked up with a deadly sharp blade in the end of it hovers over Axe's shoulder. It's fast, very fast, as in you're bleeding and wondering why you can only count to 4 on your fingers before you can even see it move. Fast, accurate, and very good to have on your side in a fight. Hello everyone, Axe said. Tobias told me to hurry. Just then Tobias swooped overhead and landed with utter confidence on a branch. He dug his talons in the bark and just began to calmly preen his wing feathers. Hi, Axe said. Has Tobias told you? Everything. I guess we're going to take a closer look. You're right, Axeman. Margaret said you have a preference for fly or cockroach. I will do whatever Prince Jake orders. Axe, don't call me Prince Jake, I said automatically for 1,000th time. Yes, Prince Jake. Sometimes I wonder if maybe he had a sense of humor. We never noticed one, but who knows. We have to get inside that Safeway, I said. The closest place to morph is a long way away. Clear across the street behind a boarded-up motel. No one to see us there. We need to get to the store. Across 4 lanes of traffic. Ouch, Marco said. I hadn't really thought about that. It's too late to change my vote. We didn't vote, Rachel said, but if we had, you would have voted yes. How would you know how I'd vote? Marco demanded. She smiled. Because I'd vote yes, and it looks like a total whiz in front of girls. You think you know me, Marco said. Unfortunately, you're right. Near the road trip fly has very good vision, Rachel pointed out. I mean, we want to be able to see whatever's in the store, right? Yeah, we also want to have to get across 4 lanes of traffic. I don't know about you, but I'd rather fly over cars and try to walk in front of them, Cassie said. Can flies even find their way that far, I wonder aloud? Remember we used to have a normal sane conversation? Mark said, you know, we talk about baseball, where we have a crush on who. Cassie gave him a week, then she was back to business. That grocery store must be full of food, right? Rotting food since out the freezers are working. Who better to find rotting food than a fly? I can help guide you, maybe, Tobias said. You'll see much better than humans do in the dark, I point out. It'll be dark by the time we get to position. Cars, street lights. I'm saying maybe I can help a little, alright? Tobias is a little frustrated, but he can't go on all the missions. I understand, I feel sorry for him, but that's just the way it is. But I'll tell him that when Cassie jumped in. Tobias, the only reason we know is this because of you. You discovered, you showed us. The least we can do is take the next step. Cassie is good at fixing hurt feelings, better than me for sure, but why so grumpy? I'm still going along, he said. Okay, so I caught my hands together trying to sound cheerful and optimistic. Flies it is. Everyone go home, we meet behind a hotel, and I check my watch. Approximately 3 hours, around 7:45 or so. We do a quick morph and we're in and out of that safely in 10 minutes and back home again. Ah, man, Margaret, I hate when you try to sound peppy, Jake. It always means you're worried. Next, you'll flash that big and no sweat grin. I know you. 3 hours to flight time, said, forcing a big confident grin. We're dead meat, Marco said. So, Chapter 5 with 5:15 p.m. Hey Dad, what's up? I asked when I got home. My father's in his lazy boy remote control in hand. What do you mean, what's up? He asked, genuinely surprised. The fight's on night. $40 a pay-per-view. Corn chips, bean dip, loud grunting male noises, beer. For me, soda for you and Tom. I practically slapped my head. The fight, I'd totally forgotten. It was a big thing. Not because I'm a boxing fanatic, but it's a big thing for my dad to actually spend $40 on pay-per-view. He was doing it as a male bonding father-son thing. Me and him and Tom probably weren't two of my dad's friends from work. That's tonight? What time? Starts 7 o'clock. Do your homework. Easily contain vegetables, make your mom happy. And then grab some couch. I did a quick mental calculation. The fight started in a little over an hour. The last championship fight had lasted only 3 rounds. It let me maybe 30 minutes and more from fly to the motel. Should I come with some excuse for bailing out? No, there's no way he'd buy it. Great, I'll be there. Don't eat all the bean dip. You know what happens when you eat bean dip. Mother came to the living room. Am I even allowed in here? She asked finally. When is this room going to temple of male aggression? Not until 7, my dad said, until when they allow girls, especially if they remember to pick up chips on their way home from work. Chips, would you rather enjoy some nice carrot sticks and hummus dip? My dad and I just kind of stared. Kidding, just kidding. I have chips. Are Pete and Dominic coming over? Yeah, but you don't have to feed them, he joked. Those guys are lucky on charge admission. I erased her homework and hoped the fight would be a usual 2-free round easy knockout. The one good thing about rushing was that it didn't leave me too much time to think. Thinking meant worry, and worry gets in the way of getting things done. It was a tense family gathering at 7 o'clock. Tom seemed anxious as I was to get away. I could guess why. Tom is one of them, a human controller. He kept appearances of normalcy same as I did, but I guess he's trying to get away to go to the grocery store side too. Same as me, again. Tom and I fought the same war, but on different sides. It was strange thinking of Tom still alive deep inside his own head, trapped in power to be able to see and hear and think. Did he enjoy watching the fight for the eyes no longer controlled? Was there anything at all he could enjoy? It didn't help having thoughts like that. When I started thinking that way, the rage just built up until I could feel like I could go nuclear. I told myself for probably the millionth time I was doing all I could to help him. All I could. All I could. Fortunately, my dad and his work friends made plenty of noise, and no one noticed Tom shaking his watch. In fact, I kept glancing toward the kitchen where I see the wall clock. By round 6, I knew I was in trouble. In 7, near fire and looked tired. I cycled past round 8 to make some excuse about how lame. In round 8, though, a lucky uppercut connected. Oh, that had to hurt, my dad said. $5 as he goes down, my dad's friend Dominic said quickly, and he was right. The challenger staggered, wandering around rubber legs these things and toppled over. The fight was over. It was now 7:45 and I was already late. I snatched a videotape out of VCR. Dad, can I take it so Marcos and play it for him? Is all I'll say is dark out. Yeah, Tom said you might get lost and never come back, and that'd be such a pity. I have to use your room for my weights and stuff. It's actually kind of dumb Big Brother joke that Tom would have made, but of course it's just something piled up from his brain by a yerk in his head. For a second it occurred to me, I asked him, hey Tom, what's the big secret of grocery store? Just tell me I can stay home tonight. I smelled a thought and then... flash. Green? Green? Everything was green. The greenest place on earth. Trees, moss, vines, ferns, green everywhere. Marco was there and the others, and they all were. Marco was saying, in a jungle flying brainstem aliens and 10,000 annoying species of bug and a resident space gets a hot-looking monkey. Someone make them get back to reality. Flash. I was back listening to Tom teasing like he was actually Tom. I hear my dad say, walk, don't ride your bike, not at night, especially not when it's about to rain. The vision is so powerful and real, not like a dream at all, but like I was actually there in the jungle listening to Marco complain. I felt my heart pounding, felt the sweat from my forehead. What was going on? What was happening? I noticed Tom back out of the room, sliding away like he was going back to the kitchen. That brought me back to reality. I grabbed a videotape and took off, still room for the insane feeling of being yanked back and forth from one reality to the other. Here, Dad and his friends were reaction to fight round by round as I went up to my room and opened my window as wide as it go. It took me 25 minutes to more from fly to the empty motel. I know, I'm late, I apologize, came for a landing. I misjudged the distance to the ground and hit too hard, rolling over a tangle of wings and talons. Nice landing, Tobias said with a laugh. Are you okay, Cassie asked me? She rushed over and picked me up. She set me down because I was starting to demorph. I was getting heavier quickly. I'm fine, said so I'm going to speak. Embarrassed, but fine. It was a shabby little hiding place. The back windows of the motel were covered in plywood. It was covered in graffiti. There were overgrown weeds and bug and balls, and for some reason an old washing machine. We get to visit all the best places, don't we? I said dryly. As hugging in darkness against the wall, I felt obvious out of the woods, and with good reason. Anyone who saw him would run away, scaring a little kid, unless they're a controller, because they know exactly what he is. Well, Rachel asked, looking at me. She's waiting for me to say, let's go. For some reason, I felt a strange reluctance. I didn't know what I felt, but that very moment was terribly important. The others all looked at me, it's waiting. All I had to say was, let's go. But instead, I looked at my watch. 8:19, 8:19, like it meant something like, I was going nuts, I was losing it. What was the matter with me? Should we do this, I wondered? I surprised to realize I'd spoken out loud. I've been talking to myself. Why not? I say we do it. Well, there's a huge shock of Marco muttered. Everyone's surprised Rachel wants to go for it? Raise your hands. Yeah, I should shake my doubts off. Yeah, we should go. I was pretty sure it's the right thing to do. The responsibility is on me. I could have stopped it. I could have talked them all out of it. I could have done something different. But I didn't. At least not then. Let's morph, I said. Chapter 6, 8:19 p.m. Let's hope no one has a can of Raid, Marco said. I tried to laugh, but I hate morphing bugs. Back when we started, I figured morph things like lions and bears and eagles, and we do. But we also morph things a lot smaller. The insect world is useful, sometimes smaller is better. That never makes it fun, though. There's a nightmare, a horror movie, or weird psycho vision is scary turn to a cockroach or spider or flea or fly. When you morph a tiger, you still have 4 limbs, 2 eyes, a mouth, bones and stomach, and lungs and teeth. They're different, but they're all still there. They change to a fly like nothing like that. Nothing is where it should be, and nothing stays the same. The problem morphs are never exactly the same twice, and the changes happen in bizarre and predictable ways. It's not smooth or logical or gradual. I started to shrink when I was still almost entirely human, maybe 3 feet tall, for my skin to harden. Flies don't have bones. They have an exoskeleton. There are shells that holds them together in one piece. And my exoskeleton was growing. My soft human skin replaced by something dark, something hard as plastic. My body squeezes segments, insect ones, a head, thorax, and abdomen. When I was still 2 feet tall, way too tall to be anything like a fly, the extra legs kept bursting, squishing, slurping out what had once been my chest. My proboscis has already begun to form from my melting mouth and lips and nose and tongue. The proboscis as big as my fly leg is a long retractable hollow tube. They with the proboscis. I spit saliva or food waiting for it to mush in and suck it up. It isn't pretty, but that wasn't the worst. The worst was the eyes. I still had semi-human vision. I saw Cassie lying in dirt beside me suddenly grow fly eyes, just popping out of her human eyes, like huge and devoid of soul. Big black balloons that sort of inflated out of her eye sockets, a sight that'll make you heave up your lunch. My own vision went dark. I was blind for a couple seconds, then, the fly eyes turned on, the whole world was different. How do I explain what it's like to look through compound eyes? Like you're watching 1,000 tiny TV sets all at once. 1,000 TV sets all clustered together, and each one has a really weird color, like something twisted all the color knobs. Yellow is purple, green is red, blue is black. It's insane. Like some discovered kick out loose, a Crayola box and colored everything in different colors. What's awful is the way the eyes look in all directions at once. I can see a tube now my mouth sitting out in front of me. I can see my own twig legs and a stiff hair spring on an armored body. Still, there's one good thing about being a fly if you get past the screaming horror. Part of what I could see was a pair of gossamer wings spiraling what should have been my back. Flies can fly. Man, can they fly. Aaron, okay, I asked? Aside from if I made myself sick? Yes, Margaret said. Then, poosh, an explosion on the ground ahead of me. The door seemed to blow up like a mortar explosion. What the? Rachel yelled. Poosh. It's starting to rain, guys, Tobias informed us calmly. The explosions of mortar shells are just big fat raindrops. Jeez, I thought someone was trying to kill us, Cassie said. Let's get on with this, I said. I fired the springs to my legs and turned on my wings. I was airborne instantly. It's not like being a bird. A bird doesn't really work at flying. For a fly, it's automatic and instantaneous. You think, let's fly, and a split-second later you're zooming crazily through the air. Across the weird mass of tiny teeth, I could see the arrows rise up in the ground. They flew like pigs, like giant fat balls with tiny little wings that shouldn't lift a speck of dust. But as I said before, flies can fly. I zoomed wildly upward like a wallowing rocket. Oh man, Rachel Zelda, I forgot how great this was. Disgusting, but yeah, these things can haul. Tobias, you only think you can fly. You haven't flown till you've flown Maggot Airways. Maybe, Dwight said calmly, not to burst your balloon, but you're all heading the wrong direction. We are? Yes, you're heading toward a dumpster, he said with a laugh. Turn left and get some altitude, then you should be able to see the car lights on the road. I would have smiled if I had a mouth. The fly brain's easy control has already done this before, but the fly instinct still had some input. They smelled rotting food and knew right where we wanted to go. We followed those directions. I rocketed higher and then, whoa, what's that? Are those cars? Besides just seeing ultraviolet light X come in, they're seeing something, that's for sure, I agreed. The cars racing past weren't so much cars as glowing red and purple meteors. The road was a blur of movement, all of it strange and disturbing. Stay with both the cars, Tobias warned. Why? I asked. A little something we call windshields, Tobias said dryly. They're moving 60 miles an hour is death to bugs. Good point, agreed. Going higher. I powered my wings and bobbed and weaved and rolled higher and higher, but the fly inside my head wouldn't have it. He lived close to the ground. The ground is where he found food, and food was all they cared about. It started to rain higher, Tobias said. I noticed... rain harder, rather, Tobias said. I noticed more drops. They're sparkling mirror I see 3 times my size. They plummeted around me, but fly scale things were fairly far apart. Then more rain, close together, falling thick and fast. Wham! Ah! I was slammed. I tumbled through the air, covered in what stung like heavy glue. Water, just water, but sticky as glue to my fly body. My wings shook off the water and I started flying upside down. I spun and advanced again. Oh man, that's a whole new reason not to like rain. I'm going ahead, I said tensely. Raining too hard. I gotta land. Wham! A glancing blow from a raindrop the size of a truck has spun me around the air. Ah! Jake, are you okay? Cassie cried. Once again, the fly wings turned me around, kept me in the air, but I suddenly rose in a sea of brilliant lights. Purple, red, green. Green? Motion. Every hair in my nasty body felt it. Every scream my fly eyes sensed it. Something moving, something big and fast. A monster's walking at impossible speed. It was a mountain, huge, tall, and sloped. A mountain moving 60 miles an hour right at me, glowing in a rainbow of colors. A windshield. Uh-oh, I said. Chapter 7, 8:25 p.m. I screamed and thoughts because the deadly windshield blew closer, and then flashed to the jungle. Sudden movement in a deep bush, a cocked arm, a human arm belonging to a kid. A spear flew. I saw it coming at me, saw bamboo point blackened with deadly poison. One scratch and I was dead. Flash! Spear! No, windshield! My wings beat the air at 100 strokes per second. I was fast, but not fast enough. A downdraft eventually sucked me toward the windshield. I fought it for a split second, the wind became a magic carpet. The power of my wings, a slip screen of wind. I missed the top of the windshield by a millimeter. I could actually see the color distorted hue and faces in the car. I saw the glowing eyes as I flew past and over and seriously hauled my fly butt up and up. Jake, you're still with us? Jake, Rachel asked. Yeah, barely, but I'm here. You know, I really need to lower the speed limit. Cars should go maybe more than 10 miles an hour. Honestly, I can't help but agree. We passed the road and left the eerie stream of fast lights behind us. Still got slammed by more raindrops, but personally I was past caring about that. Even for the cleansing rain and the smell of the grocery store, the fly sensed food. And we didn't need Tobias the guys the rest of the way there. Our fly eyes are eager head to the smell of rotting food. Us still from a twin stations being attacked by a windshield and a spear. The jungle visions were so real, so absolutely real. I mean, I felt every single thing while I was in them. I felt heat and humidity, I felt the bugs buzzing my face, I felt... But I didn't have time for that now. We didn't need to buy the guys the rest of the way. Oh wait, I read that part. The safe way is beyond our ability to see. I mean, it was so big it had no meaning to our fly eyes, so it was meaning the fly was there was food up ahead. We zipped under the plastic sheeting to cover the damaged wall. Once in the store, everything was very bright. I saw brilliant lights to be spewing a whole rainbow of colors. There were people walking around, machinery moving. There was a mountain of food all shoved into one corner. They simply used earth movers to shovel the shelves, freezers, refrigerators, and loose cans, glass meat display case, donuts, cupcakes, and bakery, the flowers, cooked chicken, and beans. Everything in the store to one corner. You know, Margaret says someone threw in some dog food. This would be fly heaven. We're not alone, Max pointed out. There's many others of the species here. He was right. We'd chosen the right morph. There'd be 10,000 flies in the store. I could hear them and smell them and see them as they flew past. Well, no one's going to notice us, that's for sure, Cassie said. We could dive right in. Excuse me, hello, we're not here to eat garbage or make maggots, I said. Ew. We are in and out, so let's pay attention. What's going on here? Well, there's that big thing in the middle of the room, Cassie said. That's all the controllers are clustered around. Let's get closer, Jessica. We zipped our closely flyway to our middle of the store. There's a huge object, big as a small house, I guess. It's hard to tell how big something is when you're less than a quarter-inch long. Wait, I think I hear Chapman's voice, Cass said. I don't know how you make sense out of all this noise, Rachel grumbled. I've done the fly morph more than you, Cass said. Remember, I was in the fly morph, I spied him in the mall. There he is, I'm getting closer. I couldn't see where Cassie was going or where she landed. One fly was pretty much like a next, and the store was like a fly airport. Cassie, where are you? I'm close to Chapman, on his head actually on the bald spot. Get off of there, he could swat you. Wait, I'm listening. I buzzed around aimlessly, afraid for Cassie trying to figure out what the big thing was. Whoa, she said. Whoa, whoa. What, I asked. Whoa. What? Whoa, what's going on? It's a bug fighter. I said something new, an experimental one. Faster, more weapons, a prototype bug fighter. Bug fighter is a small basic aircraft. They seem like streamlined cockroach with two long serrated spears pointing forward. Those are the Dracon beams. What's it doing here in a Safeway, Marco asked. It crashed, duh, Rachel said. I don't know, Cass said. Chapman didn't tell me how it got here, just telling the others has to be out here in 3 hours if this race is going to matter, and he already is. The guy said it's almost ready to go, just needs to run some tests. 3 hours will be no problem. Chapman says good because it's 3 hours and 1 minute. I'll personally feed you if it's free for a snack. 3 hours, Tobias said. I was surprised to hear a saucy voice. Tobias thought you went for cover. The rain stopped and I can see into the store. We're not the hole in the roof, so carry you guys up on the roof and get to the store quickly. There's a ladder. I'm flying over. What do you see up there? A bunch of nerves, human controllers, and machine guns. What do you do, Rachel wanted? In 3 hours I could fly this thing out of here. If we get some TV news people here casting music, people could see this thing and have proof. The Earth said too many people at the local TV stations and newspapers will point out. You know what we could do, though, Rachel began. Uh-oh, a suggestion from Rachel, Margaret groaned. What we could do is steal this thing. Steal and do what with it, Tobias wondered. I laughed. We could always steal and fly to Washington land, the White House lawn, and the Earth try and cover that up. I meant it as a joke. Really, a joke. Hey, Rachel said, that could work. Ask, can you fly that thing, Tobias asked? I'm an Andalite. This is just the Earth fire if it's experimental. No second-rate Earth technology too sophisticated for me. But we have to do this like right now, Cassie pointed out. Yep, Rachel said. Right now, Jake? There's can't be many people inside the bug fire, I pointed out. It only has a crew of 2 normally. It must be 4 or 5 technicians inside, Prince Jake. Well, 4 or 5 people versus 5 houseflies isn't good odds for us. It's most like this I resented. Most I tend to make decisions and I have to carry responsibility. Still... I could hear the gears in his little brain grinding away, Marco joked. Still, I said, there might be a way.